Spectrum are of two types, continuous spectrum and line spectrum. What is continuous spectrum? It contains no observable gaps. But line spectrums, there are huge gaps between the lines. You can see this is graphical representation. Continuous spectrum, no gap between the different colors of the light, but here you can see the huge gaps in black color, and these are the lines which are representing actually the energy released by the electrons. Okay, so now you know what is continuous and line spectrum, so we can move to the next topic, weaknesses of Rutherford atomic model. What Rutherford said, that electron is revolving around the nucleus constantly. Okay, it should lose energy and it ultimately falls into the nucleus. Rutherford said that it is continuously moving, but according to the classical physics, since electron is revolving around the nucleus constantly, it should lose energy and ultimately falls into the nucleus. Okay, but it does not happen actually. Electron does not fall into the nucleus. Okay, so that was the defect in the other Rutherford atomic model. Second, if the revolving electron emits energy continuously, then there would be continuous spectrum, but in contrast to it, we get line spectrum from the atoms of element. Alright, so according to Rutherford, there should be continuous spectrum, but basically we are getting line spectrum when electrons moving around the nucleus of an atom. Alright, so these were the two defects. This is also written in your book, page number 49. When you need to write in your notebook, write from the book. Alright, now next is Niels Bohr's atomic model. After Planck's and Einstein's discoveries, Niels Bohr, a Danish physicist in 1913, offered a theoretical explanation of line spectra. The important assumptions for the atomic structure are given below. I am reading from the page number 49 actually. Niels Bohr adopted Planck's idea. So this is the Planck's idea. You can see here, he used the word quantum. So you must know what is quantum. A discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of radiation it represents. Actually, it's a kind of energy. Electrons are moving and they are emitting energy in the form of quantum. So we can say the energies are quantized. What we can say? The energies are quantized. When we calculate it, it will equal to delta E is equal to HV. Here delta E is E2 minus E1, because electrons are moving from a higher energy level to a lower energy level. Higher energy level has the energy E2 and the lower energy level has the energy E1. So delta E means difference in the energies is E2 minus E1. What is H here? H is a constant which is named as Planck's constant. Okay, because it is discovered by Planck. Second is V. Here V is frequency of the radiation. Sometimes frequency is represented with F. So here written F, and V also the symbol for the frequency. So this energy difference depends upon these two things. Alright. So that was the Planck's idea that was used by Niels Bohr in atomic model. Okay, the same calculation. Page number 49 you can see what Niels Bohr said, that energies are quantized. He proposed that the electrons in atoms move only in certain allowed energy levels. Okay, allowed energy levels, energy states. So an electron in an allowed energy state will not radiate energy continuously and therefore will not fall in the nucleus. It is not releasing energy continuously, so it will not fall on the nucleus. The atom radiates, second point, the atom radiates energy as a light only when the electron jumps from a higher energy level E2 to a lower energy level. When it emits energy, when it moves from higher energy level to lower energy level, only then electron will emit the energy. Alright, The quantity of energy radiated